Trust isn't always earned. It's remembered. It's witnessed. And when you forget how to feel the signal, you confuse safety with sameness and mistake danger for home. You don't trust them, and you don't know why, just that something feels off. You might replay conversations, second-guess your gut, rationalize their words. You wonder sometimes if it's your past speaking or if there's something real underneath the ache. Let's begin there. Because trust is not a decision, it's an instinct, a body-based recognition of coherence, something ancient, very deep and embedded within you that feels the difference between signal and distortion, between presence and performance. And when that instinct has been dulled, when you've spent a lifetime overriding it to keep peace, simply to stay connected or to be chosen, you stop trusting others because you no longer trust yourself. And so every new person becomes a test, a mirror, a projection field for your fears. You analyze every word, every silence, every delayed response. You don't feel safe, not because they're dangerous, but because your body has no map for safety that isn't also fused with sacrifice. Now that's the real wound. Somewhere in your story, you were taught that trust meant obedience, that trust meant shrinking, that trust meant tolerating just a little too much because that's what love does. And so now you associate trust with betrayal, closeness with collapse, familiarity with control. And the moment someone gets close, you flinch. Not because they're harmful, but because harm wore the mask of love for so long, you forgot what real trust even feels like. So you pull back, or you overgive, or you test and then resent them for failing. And still, you call it trust issues. You blame your past. You diagnose yourself with attachment styles to try and fix the pattern. But trust doesn't return through theory. It returns through remembrance. The remembering of your original signal, the one that told you clearly, this is safe, this is not. Speak, leave, listen, wait. Before you were gaslit, before you were silenced, before you were told that love looks like pain and protection looks like control. Your body still knows, but it's buried under decades of distortion. And that's why you keep choosing people who feel familiar, even if they hurt you. That's why you mistrust people who are calm, clear, kind, because it doesn't match the chaos you were raised in. That's why you call red flags, chemistry, and safety boring. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to retune, to slow down, to stop outsourcing your knowing to what you were taught, to let trust become felt, not forced. And yes, it takes time. It takes quiet. It takes letting the body lead instead of the fantasy, because trust isn't about them. It never was. It's about your ability to feel the signal and act on it without explanation, without apology, without needing the other person to validate it. That is trust, and that is self-trust. And when you rebuild it within yourself, maybe not perfectly, but honestly, but coherently, you will begin to see people and situations very, very clearly. You will recognize manipulation in a single sentence. You'll walk away from confusion and distortion without needing proof. You will stop explaining your standards to those who cannot meet them. You will no longer confuse being chosen with being safe, because you will know. It is a deep knowing. In under your skin, in your spine, in your breath, in the way your heart beats, in the way your gut feels. That real trust that doesn't demand your distortion. It instead invites your clarity. But to get there, you must let the old maps burn. The ones that said that love must be earned. The ones that taught you to tolerate instead of choose. The ones that dressed up control as protection and called abandonment just how people are. So let it all fall. And in the ash, you can build a new signal. Not a mindset, not a strategy, a frequency where your body is the compass, where your nervous system is no longer a battlefield, where you don't just think someone is safe, you feel it. And if you don't, you walk. No explanation, no delay, no drama, just signal. This is the return of trust, not the kind you give away to be liked, the kind you live from, because coherence is no longer negotiable. Trust doesn't come back when they prove themselves. It comes back when you do. Welcome to The Architect Speaks.